Every villain in Pokemon all have one thing in common. They all failed in their plans, and that's mostly because of a young kid who started their adventure a couple of days ago. Let's face it, all of them didn't have the best judgment in terms of their plans, but that is understandable because it's a video game. The player has to proceed. But in this video, let's look at every Pokemon villain's worst mistake. But before that, can I ask you to like and subscribe? It will mean a lot. Let's do this. Giovanni. Giovanni's mistake is not properly keeping the keys to important doors. Why would you give the goofiest grunt the keys to the lift? Or even worse, why would you keep the entrance to your secret hideout in public range? The only thing protecting the entrance is a paper poster and a weak grunt. Also, why would you keep Silphco completely open with no guards while storming it? Giovanni, you're not the smartest tool in the shed. Archer. You know, the reason of Archer's failure was totally not his fault. In fact, he did manage to reach Giovanni in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and the latter was about to come back to Team Rocket. But the problem is, while Archer was fighting Gold, Celebi brought another Gold from the future to stop Giovanni in his tracks. This happens during the Celebi event, so there was nothing Archer could really do. I mean, time travel, that's crazy powerful. Archie and Maxie. So this one is pretty obvious, and it is using the wrong orb. You have to have one brain cell to think that the blue orb is for Groudon and that the red orb is for Kyogre. Like, how can you take the wrong orb? One of the stupidest mistakes ever. Cyrus. Allowing the player to free the lake legendaries. It might be Saturn's fault for losing and letting the player press the button to free them, but I put this on Cyrus. First, why would you think that the lake legendaries would let all that you did to them slide? Of course they're gonna try to get revenge. The lake legendaries showing up at the end was the one thing that kept Cyrus away from success in Diamond and Pearl. N's mistake was of course trusting Ghetsis and being easily manipulated. You can talk to Pokemon and clearly see from the player's Pokemon that they're happy. How would you believe that Ghetsis is in the right? Ghetsis. Not keeping an eye on Chorus in Pokemon Black and White 2. Chorus helped the player way too much. If you're going to give someone this much intel and power, at least keep an eye on him, because he gave the player access to a lot of inaccessible places. Lysandre. Making an announcement about the end of the world. Honestly, if Lysandre didn't announce that he was going to end the world, then the player would have never had enough time to stop him. Maybe he should have launched the ultimate weapon first before making the announcement. Guzma. Guzma is an odd case. He's trying to prove a point, so he creates chaos and all that. I guess you can say that trusting Lusamine was a mistake, but at the same time, she was the only one who saw his potential, so of course he would side with her. As for Lusamine herself, it was neglecting her already perfect life for Ultra Beasts. Let's face it, Lusamine had a mansion, a happy family, a good foundation, but she let all of it go down the drain with her obsession over Ultra Beasts. It's not quite an avoidable mistake, but it's definitely her biggest one. Chairman Rose. Repeating history. Clearly this man did not learn from history. There is no way that he thought that the second darkest day would work well for the good of Galar. Like Lusamine, he had everything, but lost it all over some obsession. Volo. Using Giratina to get to Arceus. If Volo never contacted Giratina, it would have never led to the time-space rift, which would have never caused the noble Pokemon to rampage, which would have never brought the player to Hisui in the first place. He shot his own foot with this one. Professor Turo and Sada. Not the AI, the actual professor. It's similar to Lusamine and the Ultra Beasts, neglecting their loved ones for Paradox Pokemon. This, however, ended up costing their lives. Anyway people, that's it from my side. What do you think is the worst mistake? I personally think it's Archie and Maxie. Comment down below. I'll see you in the next one. Peace!